In this video, we're going to talk about mountain bike tyres. Maxxis are by far the most popular tyre brand out there, but with so many tread patterns, casings and compounds to choose from, it can be a real minefield. So today, we're going to help you go from tyre dumber down to a true high roller. These tyre puns are leaving me really deflated. Roll the title. Choosing the right tyres for your mountain bike can be really confusing, especially when it comes to Maxxis, with so many options to choose from. I mean, do I want a Maxx grip compound with a double down casing? Do I want an Assegai or an Ardent? I mean, is it 2.4 or 2.5? And what's wide trail?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
In this video, we're going to help you dissect all this mess so you can pick the right tyres for your mountain bike. Starting with the absolute basics, you want to make sure you're getting the right size of tyre. On modern bikes, this will be 27.5 or 29, or if you're stuck in the 1990s, it'll be 26 inch. If you're unsure which tyre size your bike uses, just check the sidewall of your current tyre and that will let you know. Now you've got the right tyre size for your bike, it's time to think about the tread pattern. And this is all about finding the right compromise between speed and grip for your trails and riding conditions. For example, you don't believe using the Shorty on your cross-country bike because it's going to be really draggy thanks to its open and aggressive tread design, and you're just going to be breathing out your eyes on the climbs. Likewise, you don't be using the Rekon Race on your downhill bike in wet conditions because the semi-slick tread pattern just isn't going to give you the grip that you need in, and you're going to hit the deck quicker than Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Next up is choosing the right rubber for you. Maxxis make their rubber compounds relatively simple with their 3C range. 3C is made up of 3 different rubber compounds. You have a softer compound on the shoulder knobs for more grip when you're cornering, a harder compound in the centre to make the tyre roll faster, and then an even harder base compound underneath the tread to help improve durability. 3C is split up into 3 different categories. You have Maxx Grip, Maxx Terra and Maxx Speed. Maxx Grip obviously gives you the most amount of grip, but it is going to roll slower because of the softer rubber compounds. Maxx Speed is going to be the fastest, but it is going to offer a little bit less grip just because of the harder rubber. Maxx Terra is designed to offer the perfect compromise between the two. All this rubber doesn't come cheap, so Maxxis do offer a cheaper version, which is dual compound, which is made up of 2 different rubbers, just to help save a bit of money. So now you have your tyre size, your tread pattern, and your compound sorted out, you need to look at the casing options. When we're talking about casing, we're referring to the amount of rubber in the sidewalls and underneath the tread itself. Going with a heavier duty casing offers you more protection against punctures or slashes, whereas a lighter option will be lighter feeling, making the bike feel more agile and lively, but will come at a cost of less puncture resistance. At the lightest level, you have EXO, which offers a decent level of puncture protection, but isn't massively heavy, which makes it suitable for most trail bikes and cross-country bikes as well. You then move up to EXO Plus, which offers slightly more protection in the sidewalls, ideal for enduro type of bikes, moving up to double down and downhill casings, which offer even more protection in the sidewalls and underneath the tread to offer the most punch protection, but this does come with a significant weight penalty. It's worth noting that all of these tyres are tubeless ready. This means they can be run tubeless with a liquid sealant, or you can run them with an inner tube if you wish. It's also worth noting that we're going to focus on the tread patterns for the Maxxis range, as each tread pattern will come in its own array of different variants with casing and compound options. For example, the classic DHR and DHF come in the widest variety of options, so you can get these with Maxx Grip, Maxx Terra, downhill, EXO casings, pretty much any of the options that you'd like that we've already discussed in the video. If you want a full breakdown of the options available for each tread compound that we're looking at, go to the Tweeks Cycles website and you'll find all the details there. Right then, so let's get our hands on some rubber. First up, we've got the Shorty. This is Maxxis mud-specific soft conditions tyre. The Shorty is designed as a cut-down spike tyre for use in the softest and wettest conditions. As such, you'll mostly find it on downhill and enduro bikes that are being ridden when it's sopping wet and you need the most amount of grip and the most aggressive open tread pattern to dig into the surface to give you that level of grip. Moving on to a bit more of an all-rounder, you have the Assegai. It's still a pretty burly beast with large and aggressive treads, but it's been designed by the downhill legend that is Greg Minnaar
Goes fastest!
to offer a more consistent feel at all lean angles when he's cornering. This makes it a great all-rounder for front or rear use, although I do like this teamed up with a DHR on the back just for something a little bit more faster rolling. Next up, we've got the classic high roller. You don't tend to see too much of the high roller these days as there is such a wide range of tyres available from Maxxis, but it still has its place within the range. The classic paddle option in the tread gives you really good braking and driving traction, and it still rolls relatively quickly. So if you want an all-rounder that you can fit for 95% of conditions, the high roller is a solid choice. If you've ridden mountain bikes for any period of time, you've probably ridden at least one bike with the classic Minion DHF or DHR2 on the bike. Sam Hill back in the day used to run a DHF front and back in his trademark foot out, flat out kind of style.
He's up! He's up by over 3 seconds! This is insane! Come on, Sam!
Whereas I've actually found that I prefer the DHR front and back, just because of the way that the tread patterns are arranged. The DHF has quite a gap between the cornering logs and the centre tread, which can leave a bit of a vague sort of floaty feel if you're not really leaning aggressively into the corners, whereas the DHR2 gives you a more consistent feel and slightly better braking performance as well. Doesn't roll quite as quickly as the DHF, so it's really just about finding whichever compromise you prefer. Slightly faster rolling or a more consistent feel. Next up, we've got another signature tyre, the Dissector. The Dissector was designed as a fast-rolling downhill rear tyre by the Aussie ripper Troy Brosnan.
Troy Brosnan crosses the line! Look at the time!
It features an aggressive but ramped centre tread, so it gives you a really fast-rolling sort of feel. This makes it really good in harder, dry conditions, like Troy would find in his native Australia. I've also found this to be a really good front tyre for lighter weight, trail and down country style of bikes. So it's not just pigeonholed into that downhill usage, it's much more versatile than you'd think. Next up, we have the new Maxxis Forekaster, as you'll see on my personal transition spur that we've got behind me. The Forekaster has recently been redesigned to offer a new tread pattern, so it gives you a more consistent cornering feel, but it still rolls really, really quickly. And I found it's perfect for a bike like the Spur that is designed to be ridden fast and all day long. If you want to call it down country, call it that, but the Forekaster really is a properly good all-rounder. Moving on, you've also got the Maxxis Rekon. Again, this is another tyre that I've used myself. It's designed as a fast-rolling rear tyre for trail and cross-country bikes, or if you wanted to add a bit more aggression to your cross-country race bike, you could slip one on the front as well. Moving on to the Ardent Race, we're getting a smaller tread pattern again, but still offering a really consistent cornering edge, so you're not losing out in the corners. But the Ardent Race is really all about speed. I do find it gives you a more consistent feel than the regular Ardent, which is why I prefer this. So if you're wanting something that's fast rolling and is going to be good in dry conditions, give the Ardent Race a check. Last up, we have the Rekon Race. Now this is the tyre favoured by Nino Shorty.
Nino Shorty takes it to 10!
So this tyre is all about speed. That's all it's really aiming for. It's got a big volume casing, low profile tread. It's just a flat out fast cross-country race tyre. So definitely not one for mere mortals in wet conditions, but if you're wanting to go quickly on the cross-country course, the Rekon Race is the tyre for you. Even though it's a huge range, I do have some personal favourites which I can recommend for a variety of different bikes. If you're looking for out-and-out traction on your downhill bike, the Assegai really is difficult to beat. It works in pretty much any condition you could think of except for really deep mud, and it's give you a super consistent feel. Stepping down to an enduro bike, teaming an Assegai with a DHR on the back can give you a slightly faster feel while still giving you that sure-footed grip that you're going to be looking for when you're tackling terrain that you might be heading into completely blind. Moving down in travel to trail bikes, the DHR2 is still a real good all-rounder. I do just prefer the consistent braking feel and cornering feel that it offers compared to the DHF and the Dissector. I'm also really liking the Forekaster as well. It's relatively new, so I don't have a huge amount of miles on it yet, but for a downcountry bike like the Spur, it really does seem to hit the mark. So that's the overview of the full Maxxis range. For more details on each of the tread patterns, compounds and cases that we've talked about, head to the website and you'll find all the details on what's available right there. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and leave us a little comment below just to let us know what your favourite Maxxis tyre is. And we'll see you in the next video.